We've all heard the phrase thoughts become things, but how deeply do we actually understand it? Today, I'm inviting you to journey with me into a reality that's hidden in plain sight, a reality where what you think, what you feel, and what you imagine can actually shape the world around you. You see, before anything manifests in the physical world, before you can touch it, see it, experience it, it first has to happen in your mind. And this isn't just some metaphysical mumbo-jumbo. This is a profound truth. Take a moment to ask yourself, what have I been imagining into existence without even realizing it? We often think that life happens to us, but in reality, life happens through us. Every single thing you've ever experienced, good or bad, was first conceived in the depths of your mind. It's like your consciousness is a projector, and the world around you is the screen that reflects what's going on inside.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
Now, imagine for a moment that you have access to a higher dimension, a place where reality is more fluid, where time doesn't bind you, and where the gap between thought and manifestation is almost non-existent. This is the fifth dimension, a realm of pure potentiality. But accessing this dimension doesn't require a spaceship or some mystical portal. The key is your consciousness. And today, we're going to dive deep into how you can use the power of your mind to hack this fifth dimensional reality and bring forth what you truly desire in the physical world. You see, in the third dimension, the world we live in, things feel dense, solid, and fixed. You want something, but there are obstacles. There's time, there's effort, there's struggle. But in the fifth dimension, none of these limitations exist. It's a realm of pure creation, where everything is malleable, where your thoughts and your vibrations are the only real currency. And once you understand this, once you truly grasp this concept, you can begin to manifest with ease. Not through force, but through alignment. So, here's the secret: what happens in reality must first happen in your mind. The key is to vividly imagine the life you want, feel it as if it's already happening, and then let the universe unfold it in time. But how do we do that? How do we convince ourselves that what we want is already ours when the world around us seems to reflect otherwise? The first step is understanding that your mind is a gateway between dimensions. When you focus intensely on something, you're not just thinking about it, you're dialing into the frequency of that reality. And that reality exists. Right now, somewhere in the infinite timelines of the multiverse, the version of you that has everything you desire is living that life. But to access it, to bring that version of reality into this one, you have to match its frequency. You have to see it, feel it, believe it so deeply that there's no longer a distinction between what's in your mind and what's in the world around you. Pause for a second and think, what am I focusing on right now? Are you allowing your mind to constantly replay the things you don't want, the fears, the worries, the doubts? Or are you using your imagination to create a future that excites you, that lights you up? Because here's the thing, whatever you focus on with emotional energy, you invite into your experience. Your focus is like a laser pointer for the universe, and the universe is always watching, always responding to the signals you're sending. So if you want to master this fifth dimensional hack, the first thing you need to do is take control of your mind. And I'm not saying this is easy, far from it. We live in a world designed to distract us. We're bombarded with information, with fear, with negativity. But the real challenge is to rise above that, to become the guardian of your thoughts, and to deliberately choose what you focus on. Ask yourself, what would my life look like if I believed with every fiber of my being, that I could create anything I wanted. Imagine the kind of person you would be if fear wasn't holding you back. In the fifth dimension, there's no room for fear. Fear is a construct of the lower dimensions, where things seem separate, where we feel limited. But in the higher realms, in the space of pure consciousness, fear dissolves, and you're left with only potential. Now, this isn't just about thinking positively or daydreaming about what you want. This is about embodiment. It's about becoming the version of yourself who already has what you desire. Because in the fifth dimension, there is no separation between you and your desires. You are already whole. You are already abundant. You are already everything you've ever wanted to be. And the more you align with that truth, the more you allow it to manifest in the physical world. Think about this: what would I be doing right now if I were already living my dream life? What would my morning routine look like? How would I treat the people around me? How would I walk, talk, think? These aren't just hypothetical questions. They're the keys to unlocking the reality you want. Because the moment you start acting as if it's already true, you begin to vibrate at the frequency of that reality. And when you vibrate at that frequency, the universe has no choice but to deliver. You see, the universe doesn't understand words or language. It doesn't care about the story you're telling yourself. It only responds to vibration, to energy. And the most powerful way to shift your energy is through your thoughts and emotions. When you think a thought with enough conviction, it generates a feeling. That feeling is a vibration. And that vibration sends out a signal to the universe, saying, "This is my reality whether you're aware of it or not." You are always broadcasting a signal. The question is, what are you broadcasting? Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Most people think that they need to change their external circumstances before they can feel good. They think, I'll be happy when I get the money, the relationship, the success. But that's backwards. The fifth dimensional hack is to feel good now, to feel as if you already have everything you desire, and then watch as the universe rearranges itself to match that vibration. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what would it feel like if all my desires were already fulfilled? The feeling is the secret. The more you can cultivate the feeling of abundance, of joy, of love, the more you will attract those experiences into your life. It's not about pretending or faking it, it's about genuinely tapping into the energy of your future self, the version of you that already exists in the fifth dimension. And then, once you're aligned with that energy, you simply allow the universe to do its thing. The quantum leap: how to collapse time and bring your desires into the now. Now that we understand that what happens in reality must first happen in the mind, let's take it a step further. The next level of mastery in this fifth dimensional hack is learning how to collapse time, how to bring the things you desire into your experience faster than you ever thought possible. This isn't magic. It's not a trick. It's a deep, universal law that most people are only beginning to wake up to. You see, in the third dimension, we're bound by time. We think in terms of past, present, and future. We plan, we wait, we hustle, we strive, believing that there's a distance between where we are and where we want to be. But in the fifth dimension, time doesn't exist in the same way. It's more fluid, more flexible. And here's the big secret: the future you desire is already happening. It's already out there, waiting for you to align with it. The only thing standing between you and that future is your belief in separation, the belief that it hasn't happened yet. So how do we collapse that illusion of time? How do we bring that future into the now? The answer lies in quantum leaps, shifts in consciousness so profound that they catapult you into a new reality almost instantly. And while this might sound like something out of a science fiction novel, it's actually rooted in the very fabric of how the universe works. In the quantum field, every possible version of reality exists simultaneously. There's a version of you who is struggling, and there's a version of you who is thriving. There's a version of you who is lost, and there's a version of you who is deeply aligned with your purpose. Both of these versions exist right now, side by side, like radio stations broadcasting different frequencies. And the only difference between them is the frequency you're tuned into. Ask yourself, which version of me am I tuning into right now? Am I tuned into the version of me that's stuck, or the version of me that's already living my dream? This is where the magic happens, because once you realize that every version of your life already exists, you can stop waiting for your desires to manifest and start choosing which reality you want to step into. But how do you make that choice? How do you shift your frequency and align with the version of reality you want? The answer is simple, but powerful. Feel as if it's already true. This is the essence of collapsing time. The fifth dimension doesn't recognize the gap between thought and manifestation. In fact, the only thing creating that gap is your belief that the gap exists. Take a deep breath and think about this for a moment. What if the future I desire is already happening, and all I need to do is feel my way into it? This isn't about forcing anything. It's not about working harder or doing more. It's about becoming the version of yourself who already has what you want. It's about shifting your internal state to match the frequency of your desired reality. And when you do that, time collapses. The universe rearranges itself to bring that reality into your experience, sometimes faster than you ever thought possible. But here's the thing: to make a quantum leap, you have to let go of the old version of yourself. You can't hold onto the thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that have kept you stuck in the past. You have to be willing to step into the unknown, to trust that the universe has your back, even when you can't see the full picture yet. This is where most people get stuck. They want to manifest a new reality, but they're still carrying the energy of their old one. Ask yourself, what am I still holding on to that's keeping me from my quantum leap? Maybe it's a belief that you're not good enough, or that things take time, or that you need to struggle to succeed. Whatever it is, recognize that this belief is just a frequency. And you can change that frequency at any moment by shifting your focus. So let's dive deeper into this process. The key to collapsing time and making a quantum leap is to embody the energy of your desired reality right now, in this moment. This means you start thinking, feeling, and acting as if it's already true. You don't wait for the external world to change. First you change, and then the external world mirrors that change. Take a moment and imagine, what would my life look like if I were already living my highest vision? How would I wake up in the morning? What would my thoughts be? How would I interact with others? How would I move through the world? Once you have a clear picture in your mind, start to feel what it would be like to live that life. Let the feeling wash over you. Feel the excitement, the joy, the freedom. Let it fill your entire body. This feeling is the key. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. The more you can hold on to this feeling, the faster your reality will shift. And here's the beautiful part: you don't need to know how it's going to happen. You don't need to figure out all the details. That's the universe's job. Your job is to stay in the vibration of your desired reality and trust that the universe will take care of the rest. Ask yourself, how often am I allowing myself to feel the energy of my future? Most people spend the majority of their time focusing on what's wrong, on what's missing. But if you want to make a quantum leap, you have to flip the script. You have to spend more time focusing on what's possible, on what's already happening in the quantum field, even if you can't see it yet in the physical world. This is where visualization becomes a powerful tool. Every time you visualize your desired reality, you're tuning into that frequency. You're aligning yourself with the version of you that already exists in the fifth dimension. And the more vividly you can imagine it, the more real it becomes. But here's the key. It's not enough to just see it, you have to feel it. You have to feel it in your body, in your heart, in your soul. You have to feel it so deeply that it becomes more real to you than your current reality. Take a moment now and ask yourself, what would it feel like to have already made my quantum leap? Really sit with that feeling. Let it sink in. The more you can anchor yourself in that feeling, the more you will draw that reality into your experience. This is how you collapse time. This is how you bring the future into the now. But there's one more thing you need to understand: the universe always responds to certainty. When you're uncertain, when you're doubting or second-guessing yourself, the universe picks up on that energy and mirrors it back to you. But when you are certain, when you know without a shadow of a doubt that your desired reality is already yours, the universe has no choice but to deliver it. So ask yourself, am I certain that my desires are already on their way? If there's any doubt, now is the time to release it. Now is the time to step fully into the energy of certainty, to know that your quantum leap is inevitable, that it's already happening. Because when you hold that level of certainty, the universe moves mountains to bring your desires into your experience. The collapse of fear: how to remove the final obstacle to manifestation. Now let's talk about the most elusive, yet most powerful obstacle standing between you and the life you desire: fear. Fear is the invisible force that keeps you anchored to the third dimension, preventing you from fully stepping into the fifth dimensional reality, where your desires manifest easily, where time collapses, and where the universe flows effortlessly through you. But here's the truth: fear only exists in your mind. It's not real, not in the way you think it is. Fear is a byproduct of the illusion of separation. It's what happens when you believe that you are separate from the things you want, separate from others, separate from the universe itself. Fear thrives in the space between me and that, but in the fifth dimension, there is no separation. Everything is connected. Everything is one. And once you truly grasp this, fear loses its power over you. Ask yourself, what am I really afraid of? Is it the fear of failure? The fear of rejection? The fear that you're not good enough, that you don't deserve the things you want? These fears are all rooted in the belief that you are somehow lacking, that you are incomplete. But here's the ultimate fifth dimensional hack: you are already whole. You are already complete. You are already everything you will ever need to be. The things you desire are not outside of you, they are expressions of the infinite potential that already exists within you. So how do we collapse fear? How do we remove this final obstacle to manifestation? The answer lies in facing it head on. Most of us spend our lives running from fear, trying to avoid it, trying to suppress it. But the more you run from fear, the more power you give it. The more you suppress it, the more it controls you from the shadows. The key is to bring fear into the light of your awareness, to observe it, to understand it, and ultimately to transcend it. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what is the fear that's been holding me back the most? Maybe it's the fear of stepping into the unknown, of leaving behind the familiar comfort of your current reality, even if that reality isn't what you truly want. Maybe it's the fear of success, the fear that if you actually get everything you desire, you won't be able to handle it, or worse, that it will somehow slip away. Whatever your fear is, recognize that it's a construct of your mind. It's not real. It's simply a pattern of vibration that you've been holding on to, often without even realizing it. And the moment you become aware of this pattern, you have the power to change it. Here's where it gets really interesting. Fear and excitement are two sides of the same coin. Physiologically, they feel almost identical. The only difference is the story you're telling yourself. When you're on the verge of a quantum leap, when you're about to step into a whole new reality, your body often reacts with a surge of energy. But if you interpret that energy as fear, you'll retreat. You'll contract. You'll stay in your comfort zone. But if you interpret that same energy as excitement, as the thrilling anticipation of stepping into the unknown, you'll expand. You'll move forward. You'll take the leap. Ask yourself, what if the fear I'm feeling is actually excitement in disguise? What if the very thing you're afraid of is actually the gateway to the life you've been dreaming about? This is the collapse of fear. It's the moment when you realize that fear isn't something to be avoided, it's something to be transformed. It's the raw energy of the unknown, and when you embrace it, you can use it to propel yourself into the fifth dimensional reality where anything is possible. Now let's get practical. How do you actually transform fear into excitement? How do you collapse fear in a way that allows you to move forward with confidence and clarity? The first step is to reframe the fear. Instead of seeing it as a sign that something is wrong, see it as a sign that you're on the verge of a breakthrough. Fear is often a signal that you're about to step into a new level of existence, a higher vibration. It's your ego's way of trying to keep you safe, trying to keep you in the familiar. But the fifth dimensional version of you knows that safety is an illusion. The only real safety comes from trusting the flow of the universe, from knowing that you are always supported, always guided. Pause and ask yourself, what if this fear is actually a sign that I'm ready for my quantum leap? What if it's a signal that you're about to step into the life you've always wanted, and all you need to do is take that final step? The moment you shift your perspective on fear, it loses its grip on you. It becomes fuel for your evolution rather than a barrier to it. The second step is to feel the fear, but take action anyway. This is where so many people get stuck. They wait for the fear to go away before they take action. But the truth is, the fear will never go away completely. It will always be there, lurking in the background, whispering doubts and uncertainties. The key is not to eliminate the fear, but to move forward in spite of it. Every time you take action in the face of fear, you weaken its hold on you. You prove to yourself that fear is not the ultimate authority in your life. You are. Think about this. What would my life look like if I stopped letting fear control my decisions? What dreams would you pursue? What risks would you take? What bold, inspired actions would you commit to if you knew that fear had no real power over you? This is the essence of collapsing fear. It's about reclaiming your power, stepping into your true self, and deciding that you are no longer willing to let fear dictate the course of your life. The final step is to anchor yourself in the present moment. Fear can only exist when you project your mind into the future, when you imagine worst-case scenarios, when you worry about things that haven't happened yet. But in the present moment, fear dissolves. In the present moment, you are safe. You are whole. You are whole. You are exactly where you need to be. So whenever fear arises, bring yourself back to the now. Take a deep breath. Feel your body. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Remind yourself that right here, right now, you are okay. The future doesn't exist yet. The past is already gone. All you have is this moment, and in this moment you have the power to choose how you want to feel, how you want to respond, how you want to move forward. Ask yourself, what can I do right now, in this moment, to align with the highest version of myself? It doesn't have to be a huge, life-changing action. It could be something as simple as shifting your thoughts, changing your focus, or sending out a vibration of love and gratitude into the universe. The point is to take action from a place of presence rather than from a place of fear. And when you do that, you collapse the final obstacle to manifestation. Ultimately, collapsing fear is about stepping into the truth of who you really are. It's about remembering that you are a powerful creator, that you are not bound by the limitations of the third dimension, that you have access to the infinite possibilities of the fifth dimension at any moment. And the more you embrace this truth, the more you will experience the flow of the universe working through you, manifesting your desires with ease, grace, and joy. So I leave you with this final question: what would my life look like if I lived every day from the fifth dimension, free from fear, fully aligned with my highest self? Let that question sink deep into your being. Let it guide your thoughts, your actions, your choices, and watch as your reality begins to shift in ways you never thought possible. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Remember, the power to create your reality is already within you. All you need to do is tap into it, trust it, and let the universe show you just how magnificent your life can be.